What's up, guys? It's Dave, and today I want to talk about recovery. In particular, I want to talk about recovery formula, and then I want to talk about some alternatives to recovery formula, which I've got on my little cheat sheet here, including chocolate milk. I get a lot of questions about that, so I want to address that. Let's start with why recovery is important and what's it all about, and what does recovery do, okay? So here's what recovery formula does in a nutshell. I'm really simplifying this, so I know there's technical people out there. This is not technical, I'm trying to make it simple. So in the simplest form, what it does is replace muscle glycogen using sugar. Why is that an issue? Why is that important? How does it all work? Okay, again, on the simple side of things, okay? Your primary form of fuel during vigorous exercise is a substance called glycogen, okay? Glycogen is stored in your liver and your muscles, and when your body gets pushed really hard, you start to tap into that glycogen, and that becomes what you're using for fuel. Okay, so if you push your body really hard and take it out, you gotta put it back in the machine. In very simple terms, here's how that works. Your body takes in sugars, carbohydrate in the form of sugar, takes in sugar, your blood sugar goes up, insulin is created. Insulin and some other processes that I'm not gonna get into helps to convert that carbohydrate or sugars into glycogen, okay? And then it gets stored in your muscles and your liver, and again, you come back and you do your P90X or insanity workout or whatever it is you're doing. P90X3 is what I'm doing right now. And if you push yourself hard enough, you're going to tap into those glycogen stores. If you drain them down, you need to put something back in the machine. This is one really easy way to do it. So let me give you the numbers on recovery formula. Calories, 220 calories, 1 gram of fat, 40 grams of carbohydrates, 26 of which are sugars, 10 grams of protein. So it's kind of your basic 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein that, you know, if you go to any vitamin store and ask them for a recovery drink, you're going to kind of get that ratio. If you've ever taken a spin class, I think every spin instructor, that's a standard thing after the class, they tell you go get a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 recovery. Because spin is one of those really high intensity classes where you're burning through a lot of glycogen, okay? So what could you possibly use to replace that if you don't want to take recovery formula? Now, there's a wide variety of reasons people wouldn't want to take recovery formula. The first one is cost. You know, some people just simply can't afford recovery formula. If you're going to consider something like chocolate milk, I would ask you to maybe just do a real one-to-one comparison on what does a month of recovery formula look like versus a month of chocolate milk. Because one of the key things about recovery formula that does give it a leg up is it does have 5 milligrams of creatine in it. Yeah, it's still 5 milligrams. 5 milligrams of creatine in it, and it has amino acids in it. It's got some other vitamins and minerals in it as well that you're just not going to get with something like a chocolate milk or really any of the other stuff I'm talking about. So recovery formula on that front, if it's a cost issue, is superior, and that cost probably justifies that. Another reason people wouldn't want to take it is they really focus on eating whole, healthy foods. And they just don't eat anything that is in a bag or a box or a package. And that's cool. Hey, if that's you and that's your lifestyle, I totally respect that. And my job is to give you some alternatives. Chocolate milk's probably not going to be one of those because it comes in a box. But let's talk about some sort of whole, healthy food alternatives before we get to chocolate milk. So let's talk about like an apple. Okay. An apple, just your average regular old apple, is about 65 calories, has 17 grams of sugar, 17 grams of carbs, 13 of which are sugars. So you can see that if you eat an apple, right, that's going to be something that's going to help you recover because it's got those carbs. Now, the recovery is going to be slowed down because an apple also has a lot of fiber in it. And fiber slows down that blood sugar spike and insulin response that I talked about earlier. So it happens at a little slow rate. But after you work out, I mean, a couple of apples, you know, and that's going to get you about that about 26 grams of carbs. It's not quite the same thing. But again, an apple is a super nutritious food. That's never going to be a bad call to have some fruit after you work out. Another great one, a banana. Okay, an average banana, 105 calories, 27 grams of carbs, 14 of which are sugars, and it's also going to be something that's really high in potassium. Potassium is always a really good thing to have as well post-workout. So that's another sort of option. What am I giving you here? I'm giving you some ideas to go think and maybe do some of your own research about using fruit as a way to recover. Now, let me also just say that juice is another way to do this, right? Because now, I told you earlier that if there's fiber, because there's whole fiber right in the fruit, that slows down the absorption of those sugars. Well, if you have a juicer and you can take the fiber out of the equation and just end up with the juice, just to give you an idea of that, if you juice about 3 apples, that's going to give you like 39 grams, right? And we said recovery formula is 40 grams of carbs that are going to be really high glycemic index carbs that are going to hit your body really quickly and help with recovery really fast. So if you did that, say 3 apples or maybe like a couple cups of carrots, 6 ounces of carrot juice is going to be about in that same thing, and a little bit of protein powder. Not a full scoop. I mean, a full scoop of protein powder for me is going to be like 18 grams of carbs and or 18 grams of protein rather, and that's probably too high. So maybe like half a scoop of protein powder. Mix that up. That's going to be a nice little blend for you. Okay. Let's talk about grape juice is another one that I had on my just cheat sheet. You know, it's like a cup of grape juice is 100 calories and about 22 grams of sugar. You know, so you're kind of getting the idea. And what I really want to encourage everybody to do is go and figure out what works for you. Do a little research. I mean, it doesn't take much more than Googling apple to get the nutrition facts on an average apple, and you can just kind of do the math. But what you're looking for is to put together some sort of a recovery formula that's going to be about 3 parts carb, 1 part protein, maybe even 4 parts carb, 1 part protein if you've really been pushing yourself hard from an aerobic standpoint, okay? I also want to talk really quickly before I get to the chocolate milk thing about Shakeology. So to give you the numbers on Shakeology, if you remember, recovery formula was 220 calories. Shakeology is 170 calories. Recovery formula had, 40 grams of carbs. Shakeology has 22 grams of carbs, and recovery formula had 10 grams of protein. This has 16 grams of protein. Something like a Shakeology with some juice or some fruit is a recovery formula that I actually use a lot more often than I use this. Because the other thing that Shakeology gives you is a ton of nutrients. I mean, this thing literally has every nutrient you could possibly think of in it, and all put together in a really, really healthy format. And so, you know, as I look at my body as this empty tank is a car with an empty tank of gas, right? I don't want to put crappy fuel in my race car, right? I want to go and I want to put up the highest quality fuel I can possibly get, and that's, to me, what Shakeology is. So Shakeology is really what I use most of the time. Let's talk about chocolate milk. Let me give you the numbers on chocolate milk. And again, this is straight off of Google. Every chocolate milk is going to be a little bit different, and I got to preface it with that because I think, you know, you see the commercials and it's Heinz Ward and he's drinking his chocolate milk. I did a triathlon with Heinz Ward not too long ago, actually. It was just kind of funny. I saw him coming the other way and I was like, man, is that Heinz Ward? Oh, that's Heinz Ward. Anyway, drinking chocolate milk, and you just sort of think, well, all chocolate milk must be created equal. Not true, and that is really the big point that I want to talk about with chocolate milk. Let's do the numbers first. So straight off of Google, here we go. 1 cup of chocolate milk, 209 calories, 26 grams of carbs, 24 of which are sugars, and 8 grams of protein. So as you can see from that 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio of what you're looking for, man, chocolate milk seems to check the box. Here's the problem with chocolate milk, is that not all chocolate milks are created equal. Some people don't do dairy. I don't do dairy. That's why I would not use chocolate milk. That's one of the reasons I would not use chocolate milk as part of a recovery formula for me, because I just simply don't drink dairy, okay? But the other problem is things like sucralose and high fructose corn syrup. You really need to dig into the nutrition facts and the label and go beyond the nutrition facts section and go down into the ingredients. See what they're using to make that chocolate milk sweet. If it's something like high fructose corn syrup, bail on that. That is not what you want to be putting in your body at any time, and post-workout in particular. Okay, so chocolate milk, I think it checks the box as far as the ratios, but you really need to make sure that you're getting the right product. You know, if I was drinking dairy and I was going to use chocolate milk, I would get an organic chocolate milk that had no crap and no high fructose corn syrup, cows that were not raised with antibiotics and all the other gross stuff that kind of goes into dairy, in my opinion. Okay, so those are some alternatives for what you can use for recovery formula if you do want to use recovery formula, or you have questions about this or any of the other stuff. You can leave me a comment below. You can also reach me on my email. It's here on the screen. I'm happy to help you out, answer any questions I possibly can. Hope you're having a great day, and Happy New Year.